KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss you. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
I founded the Marriage Foundation. So we're going to start with a technique that is so useful, and so many people overlook this, even though they know it's a good technique. You know it's a good technique even before I tell you about it. It's called the I'm sorry technique. There's a serious problem when you're communicating and the communication starts going downhill. And at first you're just talking about something. It could be very innocent. And then all of a sudden you hit a point of disagreement. And it's human nature to focus in on that point of communication that is troubling until you get it resolved. It's human nature. It's part of us because of our drive to survive. We want to make sure the path in front of us is cleared away, and we don't care who dies in the process, so to speak. So we have to be right. We have to be clear. We have to know. When you reach that point of contention, you're making a choice. Do I want my marriage, my communication, my connection to be more important to me than my being right? Right? Those are your two choices. Being right, being connected. So I've introduced the I'm sorry technique. Now, a lot of people go, wait a minute, because you know what it means. It means as soon as you see your communication is going downhill, you go, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. And the other person, your spouse, isn't going to let it end there usually. They'll either want to dig in, remember, human nature, you bet I'm right, or they'll challenge you. What do you mean I'm right? What do you mean you're sorry? Because the momentum of the moment is carrying them into this negative space. But you are in charge of you. You are in charge of you. No one else is. How they react, what they do is them. What you do is you. You have free will. You have willpower only over you. So, it takes two to get into a fight. One person cannot fight by themselves. You have the power to end it. So what you go is, I'm sorry. If that doesn't end it, you don't need a long explanation, but you may need an explanation for your own mind, because they suffer from human nature and you suffer from human nature. So what you tell your mind is up to you as long as you get it to shut up. You don't continue in the fight. And you mean it when you say, I'm sorry. You mean it. So there's different things you can do.
Who is that, Andy? I send Andy all of the videos. I know who they are. I just don't remember them when I'm on the air. Who was that man right there? There's no name, but it's from the Marriage Foundation. From the Marriage Foundation. Yes. That was heavy stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, most people would rather win an argument than maintain a connection. I think we live in a society where connections don't really matter. I'm going to tell you why. Because connections are not deep. Connections are not really meaningful. Because if connections were deep and meaningful, people would do anything to protect them because they would be seen as something to be cherished. Most people, the connection ain't deep. I said ain't. It's not deep. The connection is really a whatever connection. All most people got to do is get the attention of somebody else as attractive, as appealing as you are, and then the value and the bond and the strength of the connection that you are now having an issue with is easier to relinquish. I know people don't want to hear it put that way, but that's what it is. If you're in the business of cultivating and maintaining the bond you have with a special person, you're going to invest, right, in healthy conflict management skills. You're going to invest. You're going to buy books. You're going to read them. You're going to read them with your partner. You're going to want to know about effective communication, developing active listening skills, expressing emotions calmly, using I statements, right? You understand? You're gonna do all of that stuff, right? You're gonna buy books on emotional intelligence. Enhancing emotional intelligence and empathy can promote better understanding and validation of each other's feelings. Listen, we going to war if I feel marginalized, if I feel like I'm being taken for granted, if I feel like I'm in a one-sided relationship. We're going to war, right? I'm a great man. But if I can't be great in my relationship, that's a hard home to go to. 1-800-920-1580. Somebody get to the phone lines. Get to your phone. I want to talk. Do you want to talk? I'm trying to give y'all a little something tonight. Healthy management skills, right? We got to establish respectful boundaries within the union. Setting clear boundaries for each other and respecting each other's individuality can prevent conflicts, right? Right? Because sometimes I'm your man or you my woman. Sometimes us being each other's person, we think we can cross some lines. But no, in a healthy relationship, you respect the boundary that is established by your partner for your own individuality and your own space. If you want to build the connection, you got to start building trust, right? Open, honest, non-judgmental communication. Consistent actions that says, I'm moving towards you. I want to be close to you. I value the connection with you, right? And transparency can help rebuild trust and reduce conflict triggers, right? While arguments can indicate a certain level of emotional investment, chronic couples conflict can be detrimental to the overall health of the relationship. Understanding the underlying causes, and implementing effective conflict management strategies are crucial for fostering a more harmonious and fulfilling partnership. By addressing conflicts respectfully, right, from a non-judgmental space, with empathy and respect, and a commitment to growth, Couples can transform their relationship wars into opportunity. Listen, everybody gonna do you wrong. Didn't I tell you that in one of my relationship shows here? I said everybody dangerous. Why is everybody dangerous? Because everybody's a work in progress, right? Yesterday's show, we talked about how there's performative masculinity. There's performative femininity. You've heard me mention it on this show numerous times. People are relational thespians. They're actors. And the reason why they're acting a certain way is because they're in pursuit of a particular outcome. And once they get the outcome, they take the mask off. Or at least the performance mask. They take that off. I ain't got to do that no more. I've scored. Right? So I'm breaking all of these things down. Right? If you're cultivating healthy conflict management in your relationship, that means you're cultivating the bond. You're nurturing the bond. It's like watering a plant. It's like going to get supplements for your plant, putting a little cinnamon or some coffee grinds in your soil, right? Because you want your plants to be healthy. That's conflict management. And where there's conflict management in an intimate relationship, and I'm talking about effective conflict management in an intimate relationship, you have two people that are invested in the bond, in the union, in the relationship. Goodness. Are y'all with me tonight? 1-800-920-1580. Call me. People are listening tonight. I don't know. I don't know if, because I know y'all going through it. Y'all can call 1-800-920-1580. Chronic causes of couples conflict. Well, very simply, unmet expectations. We all come into the relationship with those expectations. Sometimes the expectation is unrealistic. Sometimes your partner is just oblivious to them. And that could be because maybe you didn't effectively communicate exactly what you need. Or maybe you did and they just didn't care. Right? This is what's going to cause a war in your relationship. Then there's the communication breakdown. Some people have poor communication skills. And I'm guilty of this one right here, misinterpretation. My left brain works overtime. If you tell me something, I'm definitely going to reinterpret it. What are you saying this? What did you mean? Go deeper. I'm going to ask more, right? But again, communication breakdown. So you have misinterpretation of words and actions, which can lead to misunderstandings, which can lead to escalating conflicts, right? So, and then there's a lack of emotional intimacy. Emotional distance can arise when partners fail to connect on a deeper level, causing a sense of isolation. This is what I say. If you really want the connection, you put the work in to maintain it. Nobody is just supposed to be showing up to perform for you so you could be happy and you don't reciprocate. That's going to create a relational war, right? Then you have unresolved past issues. Baggage from past relationships or unresolved personal traumas can unconsciously impact the current relationship. And I would say consciously and unconsciously. Then, of course, there's power struggles. A struggle for dominance can manifest through arguments about control, decision-making, and other power-related issues. But what are the cures? I don't want to be in a relational war with my woman. I want to cure the connection. How do you do that? Well, the same thing. Effective communication, active listening, and empathetic expression, and dismantle misunderstanding, or can dismantle misunderstandings and provide clarity. A lot of people don't even know what active listening is. First off, it's listening without judgment. It's listening attentively, right? Listening without judgment. I'm going to lean in And I will not be distracted. I'm not going to be on my phone while you're talking. I'm locked in. I've got eye contact, right? And I am present. I am here. Active listening. Listening without judgment. Krishnamurti said the highest form of intelligence is to be able to listen and observe without judgment. That's a very heavy piece. You want to pour into the connection? That's a cure. Get a book on effective communicate or active listening, and then get a book on emotional intelligence. So many books out there by so many great authors. Find one that speaks to you and read it. Then you have setting realistic expectations. Openly discussing and aligning each partner's expectations can reduce feelings of disappointment. But what if you're dealing with a partner who doesn't even want to have that discussion? They don't even want to talk about that. Setting realistic expectations protects the connection. Let's sit together and align our expectations if this thing is to work, if it's to thrive, right? Then you have cultivating emotional intimacy. Regular expressions of love, vulnerability, and shared experiences can deepen the emotional connection. My girl told me something. She said, it was a phrase. She said, activate love daily. That was her thing. She would say, activate love daily. And I took that to mean be positive, be receptive, show love daily to each other. Show love daily. Right? That's how I took that. Oh, Lord, I'm in here messing up, right? Activate love daily. And I think, to me, that's emotional intimacy. Then you have resolving past baggage. Now, this is hard. It's hard to resolve past baggage if you refuse to embrace it, if you refuse to look at it, if you're always running from it. If you're always running, right, from the work, it's hard to resolve what needs to be resolved. That's just the bottom line. Okay? And then, let's get even deeper. Let's go even deeper. This is going to get even deeper here, right? If we're talking about pulling this thing together, bringing it together, what can cure it? Collaborative problem solving. How do you do it? Collaborative problem solving? Yeah, it's a real thing. When I come forward, I'm going to tell you about it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Hello, I'm Kate Levy. When I was just 10 years old, I lost my father, Joe, in the 9/11 attacks at the World Trade Center. He was a lieutenant in the New York City Fire Department. For 9/11 this year, now a National Day of Service, I'll be doing what my dad loved to do, helping others in need. Please join me by doing your own good deed that day. Visit 911day.org to learn more.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the Evan-On, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Carson, you back!
Hey, I am Jasmine Carson, LSU Women's Basketball National Champion. I had to up my game, and this time I upped my intimate grooming routine too. Venus for Pubic Hair and Skin is the only razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area. Featuring a razor with a patented irritation defense bar and a skincare regimen that is dermatologist tested, Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Visit GilletteVenus.com to learn more about the full regimen of products.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
To the hip, hop, the hip hop, you don't stop. Rock it out, baby, rubber to the boogity bang bang, the boogie to the boogity beat. Now what you hear is not a test, I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the groove, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet. You see, I am Wonder Mike, and I'd like to say hello. Up to the black, to the white, the red, and the brown, the purple, and yellow. But first, I gotta bang, bang, the boogie to the boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the bang, bang, boogie. Let's rock. You don't stop, rock the rhythm that'll make your body rock. Well, so far you've heard my voice, but I brought two friends along. And next on the mic is my man Hank. Come on, Hank, sing that song. Check it out. When I'm
in relationships are typically so regrettable and often so bitter, it's natural to hope we might, with greater maturity, overcome them once and for all. But given what human nature is actually like, it would be unwise to make this our goal. The hope can't be to eliminate arguments altogether. It should be to try to find our way to a better kind of argument. Arguments tend to start when we're confronted, usually rather suddenly, by what appears to us to be the radical selfishness, intransigence, or sheer nastiness of the partner. It is extremely tempting to react with equal force. We aren't, after all, a pushover. We've been hurt, and we must hurt back. We will make them suffer as they have made us suffer. There may be variations in just how we opt to inflict the suffering. Perhaps we'll do a lot of shouting, or slam a door, or maybe we'll eke this one out with a sulk. But the underlying principle is the same. We've been hurt, and we have to punish. But at this point, we might ask ourselves what we're really seeking. After all, we're not trying to administer abstract justice or punish for the sake of it. This isn't a criminal court or the headmaster's office. What we're truly seeking in a close relationship is something much more touching. We want the other person to love us properly and to be kinder. That's why we're slamming the door, calling them a fuckwit, and have been pretending they don't exist since breakfast. Surprisingly, almost the last thing we ever do when we've been very hurt is to say that we've been very hurt. It feels just too humiliating to reveal our wound to the person who inflicted it, to show ourselves as vulnerable in front of the very individual who, it seems, has unbearably abused our vulnerability. This is both hugely
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason back in the building, KBLA Talk 1580. The VOR is always on fire. We have come full circle after coming forward. But before we left, I was talking about collaborative problem solving. If you have a connection that is worth keeping, what is a connection that's worth keeping? One that's meaningful. What is meaningful? One that brings value to your life. Somebody that makes you happy. Somebody that brings joy and enjoyment and love and fun and knowledge and wisdom and growing. Somebody brings support to your life. That's a good relation. That's a meaningful connection that is worth keeping, right? So, you want to get out of chronic couples conflict? Consider collaborative problem solving. What exactly is that? That's when you approach problems the relationship is faced with as a team. We're approaching relational issues as a team rather than as adversaries. Well, I think we should do this. Well, my idea was better than yours, or I told you that, and then you didn't give me no credit for it, and then you took credit for what I said. No. Let's approach it as a team. This is our solution for this issue, right? You can dissolve a lot of power struggles and foster a lot of compromise and a lot of mutual respect if you employ collaborative problem solving. Man, I want a teammate that's going to fight with me to enrich and maintain the meaning and the value of our connection. Many people think because you have a connection, it cannot suffer from entropy. It can and it will. Just because we have a connection in the beginning doesn't mean it is invulnerable. It's not. We have work to do. We have to maintain the connection. And like I said, many people would rather be the winner of a war against a loved one, somebody they love. Do you see how fast people in relationship turn into bitter enemies? You know why? Because they've always been enemies. It's just that they had benefits. They had benefits. They were getting something. Something made them say, you know what, I ain't going to fight you right now because I'm getting this. But the moment I stop getting what I signed up for, I'm going to tell you how I really feel. Tell me I'm lying. Collaborative problem solving could cure a lot of things in our relationships. When I come forward, I know y'all scared to talk about it because y'all live in it. Y'all in your house right now on opposite sides of the house. Somebody is in the kitchen, somebody else is in the den, and the two shall never meet. I know. Call me right now, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, callers.
Rock the mic so you can't resist. Everybody, I say it goes like this. When I was coming home late one dark afternoon, reporter stopped me for an interview. She said she's heard stories and she's heard fables that are vicious on the mic and the turntable. This young reporter.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Trump was arrested in Georgia for his alleged efforts to overturn the state's 2020 election. Fulton County Police said he went through a fingerprinting and mugshot process, a first for Trump. He was released on a $200,000 bond. He was charged last week along with 18 other co-defendants for breaking state election laws in an effort to remain in power. The charges center around actions that include allegedly making false claims of ballot fraud and pressuring local officials to find him more votes to overturn the election. This was the fourth criminal case brought against the ex-president this year. Black Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis on Thursday asked for the Trump racketeering trial to start on October 23rd. His arraignment could come soon next month. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the Accident Guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? Call the Accident Guys. Because unlike other firms, an attorney will negotiate your case, not a paralegal.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hello, I'm Will Jimeno. I'm a retired Port Authority police detective and a 9/11 survivor. For 13 hours, I was buried under the rubble of the World Trade Center. I was rescued thanks to brave people who were willing to put their own lives on the line to save mine. For 9/11 this year, a National Day of Service, I'll be paying it forward by taking time to help others. Please join me by doing your own good deed that day. Visit 911day.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the Dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Prothos-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dominique DePrima, and there are so many reasons to take out a small business loan. Set yourself up for long-term success with access to credit for operating expenses, equipment, and technology, leasing or financing, and more. Although the process may seem daunting, your U.S. Bank Business Access Advisor can guide you through that process. Whatever your financial goals, U.S. Bank Access Commitment can help support you in reaching them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage, career-track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling from that called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter.
Yeah.
And to all my peoples in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby.
Shake it.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack, Mr. Magic Marley Marl. I let my tape rock till my tape pop. Way back when I had the red and black lumberjack with the hat to match. Remember rapping Duke? The hard. You never thought that hip hop would take it this far. Now I'm in the limelight cause I rhyme tight. Time to get paid, blow up like the world trade. Born sinner, the opposite of a winner. Remember when I used to eat sardines for dinner? Peace to Ron G, Brucey B, Kid Capri, Funk Master Flex, Love Bug, Star Ski. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Call a crib, same number, same hood. It's all good. And if you don't know, now you know. You know very well who you are. Money holds. Don't let them hold you down. Reach for the stars. You have a goal. Cause you're the only one. I'll give you good. I made the change from a common thief to up close and personal with Robin Leach. And I'm far from cheap. I smoke skunk with my peeps all day. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn way. The Moet and Alizé keep me pissy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason has returned. We on fire tonight. Tonight's topic is just, wow, man. It's real. It's real. Can I go back to the benefits of arguing? How many times have you held in how you really feel with your partner? Right? Just held it in. It's almost like holding your breath until you can't hold it no more and then you pop off. Right? In the popping off, do you know what you actually do? You show your partner the real you. And when they see the real you and it's incongruent with the version of you they like, I don't know you anymore. I feel like you're an entirely different person. So if you're a couple that cultivates dialogue, right? And not only dialogue, but passionate dialogue. And when I say passionate, maybe your voice is raised. Maybe you're intense, but maybe you're not intense from an aggressive or violent standpoint. You're just passionate about what you're talking about, right? Again, that is a good indicator for your partner to be able to see, like, oh, you got levels to your annoyance. You have levels to your displeasure. Now, these levels don't necessarily mean you're going to grab me and throw me on the ground or something like that. But if you have a relationship that's healthy enough to be able to show the various sides of your nature, then guess what? The relationship benefits from that argument. Listen, I really believe, and I've said this on numerous occasions, couples, you guys should take a logic course. Because when I'm sitting coaching couples, oh God. Sometimes I got a little mini bottle of Florida water with me, and I just spray it. I go light some sage, because ain't nobody making no type of sense. Because they don't know how to argue. They think arguing is cutting each other off. They think arguing is yelling at each other. They think arguing is trying to prove a point to be right. No, argumentation in logic represents something. Do you know what it represents? It represents two opposing sides, right? Of an idea, of a thought. So you give me your argument and I'll give you mine.
but we do it in respect, right? So I really believe a logic course would help. Number one, logic is simple. I love logic. You know, I have this program on my phone. I have an app on my phone. I think it was called the World's Greatest Courses, World-Class Courses or something like that. And what it is video classes of professors all over the world, you know, for teaching at universities about specific topics. One of those courses I watched, it was a very good one, on logic. Logic has a premise. You can have multiple premises, but only one conclusion. Logic has a conclusion. Your conclusion is what you think it is. I think you were cheating. Yeah? Okay. Show me your premises. Premises is just another word for proof. Right? Proof. Prove to me that your conclusion is right. It is the premise that proves and validates the conclusion. You can have multiple premises, but only one conclusion. We take a logic course together, and then we sit down and talk, right, to a therapist. I guarantee you, we're going to be able to work some things out. But I do believe that there is some level of value in an argument. Not a violent one, but a passionate one. And I don't think you should have them every day. Right? Again, imagine if you took a logic course with your woman or your man, but you followed some basic rules, right? The basic rule is, number one, we're not going to interrupt. Number two, we're going to let the other person speak, and we're going to engage in active listening. Number three, if it gets too passionate, we can always call for a timeout. My girl is great at timeouts. She gave me a timeout before the show. We was talking. She said, sir, 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes before you go. Okay, we'll finish. We'll table this. Sometimes tabling it. Let's deal with this tomorrow. You know, all right, that's too much, right? So, again, but logic, right? We're using logic. A lot of people think logic is about being right. Do you understand? That's not what logic is about. Logic is trying to get as close to the truth as words can take us. Did you hear how I said that? Logic is about getting us as close to the truth as words can take us. So we take the logic course. We're not going to interrupt. Nobody is right. We're not looking to be right. We're discussing and having dialogue so we can become congruent, alignment with one another. We're not going to interrupt. And if it gets too passionate, we're going to call a timeout. And here's the kicker. Let's argue. Yes, let's argue. Like Betty said, like Sister Betty Shabazz said, as portrayed by, you know who I'm talking about? Who portrayed Betty Shabazz in Malcolm X? Famous actress. She also played Tina Turner. Who? Yes, Angela Bassett, right? You remember that scene when she told Malcolm, we gonna argue. We gonna have a fight. We gonna argue. And then he got to the point where he said, woman, don't you raise your voice in my house. I love that scene. It was beautiful. But she's just had this way about how she handled Malcolm. I don't know who wrote, it was Spike wrote the movie, but she would say things like, dear heart. Ooh, let my woman say that to me. I'm listening. Dear heart. Like, huh? I turn into that little bitty kid with the beanie sitting on Santa's lap. Dear heart. There's a way to do it to where, okay, we went too far. Let's come back. But this last piece, argue from a place of kindness, respect, and love for your partner. When your partner won't even have a conversation with you about what is important, when when your partner is avoiding every serious, meaningful, purposeful conversation that could potentially move the relationship forward, they are drawing the line in the sand for a future relational war, right? Argue from a space of kindness, respect, and love for your partner. Keep those adjectives in your mind. You are not adversaries in a boxing ring, but two people who are fighting because you want to work things out. So it's okay to fight if we're fighting to work it out. You may have a different methodology or modality for how we should work it out. I may have a different one. But if we're fighting for the same cause, let's remember that and not get so emotionally carried away. Sometimes emotional regulation is a big problem if you got two people who don't know how to regulate their emotions. Again, you are not adversaries in a boxing ring, but two people who are fighting because you want to work things out. So both of you come out of this thing with a sense of having been heard and respected. I don't know if y'all listening. I don't know if y'all hear it the way I'm trying to lay it down. It is a great sign when couples argue because they are working towards building a better relationship. It's a great sign. And when I say arguing, I mean from a respectful, intelligent, love-centered space. Right? We can disagree. It's okay to disagree, right? And this is why I say it's okay for us to argue sometimes. It means we are both invested in making our partnership the best one possible. To me, this makes sense. If couples aren't arguing, it may indicate that they've given up on any chance of the relationship getting any better, or maybe they've decided to settle for the current state of communication. Maybe this is as good as it's going to get, right? This is not a bad place to be. And eventually, that relationship, I'm telling you, that relationship will break down if you don't find a space where, hey, man, I just don't agree with the way you're moving. I don't agree with the way you get down, right? You got to remember, whenever there's a fight, please remember, a fight is indicative of something important happening. Does that make sense? Dude, does that make sense? Something important happening. We got to argue about it. But not beat each other up. But we got to argue. We got to go head to head on this in a respectful way. I'm trying to help y'all, man. I'm trying to help myself as well. You're listening to the voice of reason. When I come forward, the final 10 minutes of the VOR, and you already know who's up next. Jill Monroe, RSVP. And let me shout out Stephanie. She sent me some headphone covers. We appreciate our listeners. They love us so much. When we come forward, more from the VOR.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580 is inviting you to join us on Saturday, September 16th, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for our very first economic empowerment event for the community. This event is free and is powered by Caltrans. We're doing this in association with Rambo House, and here's Rambo to tell you more.
Contracts. I'm going to say it again for all of us small business owners out there. Contracts. Rambo House, KBLA, Tavis, me. Oh my God, this is going to be massive. I truly thank Caltrans for giving us the opportunity to focus on contracts. Listen, that's what it's all about to be a small business in LA. That's how we hire our own. That's how we expand our community is contracts. KBLA1580.com is for you to have a seat at our contracts-focused event. Contract Ready does it again. We had over 900 last time. So you guys know how exciting this is. And if you just think that you want to get into contracts and you're close to it, bring your friends out for September 16th at the Marriott Hotel. Listen, you know where to register. KBLA1580.com. Come see me. I can't wait to see you. Let's do it, Tavis.
So be sure to go to KBLA1580.com for all the details. We'll see you Saturday, September 16th.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands for Unity and Healing. African Focus Incorporated is a nonprofit organization based in California that focuses on the growth and well-being of Africans all around the world. Their mission is to promote the well-being of people of African descent through knowledge and appreciation of one another by building a bridge of love and understanding. African Focus Incorporated strives for cultural, educational, and economic growth. They're the organization behind the African Family Induction Ceremony, African Goodwill Awards, African Focus Trailblazer Tours, African Dance Competition, and Showcase Los Angeles, Family Day, Good News Windows Microfinance Project, and more. To volunteer, travel with African Focus, or to attend one of their community building events, please call 310-676-7730. That's 310-676-7300. Or visit AfricanFocus.org. This is a diaspora-wide community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Cold chilling.
Brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
Yes, the rhythm, the rebel. Without a pause, I'm lowering my level. The hard rhymer, where you never been, I'm in. You want styling? You know it's time again. D, the enemy, telling you to hear it. They praise the music, this time they play the lyrics. Some say no to the album, the show. Bum rush the sound. I made a year ago. I guess you know. You guess I'm just a radical. Not on sabbatical, yes, to make it critical. The only part of your body should be partying too. Pass the power on the hour from the rebel to you.
Hey, yo, Chuck, man, I don't understand this, man. Yo, you got this money out, man. You're losing them.
Radio.
Suckers never play me. All the mix. They just okay me now, known and grown. When they're clocking my zone, there's no sneaking and taking everything now the brother owns.
Hard.
My calling card, recorded and ordered. Supporter of Chess and Mart, loud and proud. Kicking live, next poet supreme. Loop for truth, bazooka, the scheme. A rebel in his own mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. Man, if y'all don't go back to 1988, and this album right here was one of the most significant hip-hop albums ever recorded. Public Enemy, Chuck D, Flavor Flav, Terminator X, of course, brother Professor Griff. Come on. Rebel Without a Pause. You gonna put, I mean, I'm in high school, backpack. I hear this, I'm like, is that Jesse Jackson on a rap record? Brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to. Oh my God. It was, then, the first time I ever heard Farrakhan's voice was on a Public Enemy record. You dope pusher, using your fame as a DJ to sell drugs, Terminator, go off. I said, oh, no, this is too much. Hip-hop it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. And it has taken a dip. It has dipped off into some weirdness. But the youngsters are doing it, and I still love the youngins. But Lord, you go back to 1988 and get that album. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back. Look at how relevant it is today. Public Enemy's symbol was a black man in the crosshairs of a scope. That was their logo. Man, just wow. Hip hop, man. Don't listen. Don't let the media destroy the beauty of what that thing was and still is, man. I met Chuck D here. This wasn't the first time. I met Chuck D before, but he was just here at KBLA when we had the Juneteenth event. He was just here, and I called Mo D and got Cool Mo and Chuck on the phone together. Listen, man, please don't forget the power of hip-hop. But let me wrap up tonight's topic about this relational war. Good communication skills are the keys to any successful relationship. First off, I'm tired of that. That's a cliche. Yes, we know. Good communication skills are the keys to successful relationships. Let's go deeper. What is your communication style? And how does it present or bring conflict in a relationship? Let's start there. Start with yourself. Are you competitive, collaborative, combative? Are you cooperative, collaborative? Are you avoidant? And which one are you when I need you to be collaborative? When I need you to be supportive? When it's a tough situation, which one is your default? Let's go deep into it. All right? We know the basic rules. Don't talk at the same time. Be a listener. Do you know what makes a great radio personality? Especially if they have guests, if people are calling, listening. It's not about talking, it's about listening. The greatest radio personalities are the best listeners because they know how to get the best out of the person that's sitting in front of them. So the same applies to relationships, right? Here's a good one. Think before you speak. Think about it. And if you need time, right? Ask, hey, I need a moment to think about the question you just asked me. I never thought of it that way. This was deep, right? King Solomon said, give me the gift of a listening heart. We need that in intimate relationships. We too busy, ready to respond, right? With vitriol. No, you crazy? You got me messed up. You know what the real word is. But anyway, think before you speak. And care while you're listening. Care while you're speaking. How about not hitting below the belt? That is the person you love, right? What about facts instead of accusations? This is why I say couples should take a logic course, right? Let's deal with just the facts. And not the feelings and the misinterpretations and all of that, right? And then participate with sincerity and honesty. And then observe, right? Remember, body language is a nonverbal communication technique, and it's a critique. If you talking and I turn my back or I fold my arms or I'm shaking my head, you're critiquing with your body. With your body. Ladies and gentlemen, I started the conversation. You finish it. Brother will be in here next Monday with another slapper. Love y'all. Jill Monroe up next.
Terminated. Yo, Chuck, you're getting them nervous. They can't handle this. They're gonna break down.
From a rebel, it's final. A black final soul. Rock and roll coming like a rhino. Tables turn. Suckers burn to learn. They can't disable the power of my label. Def Jam tells you who I am. The enemy's public. They really give a man. Strong Island. Where I got a Ryland.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Trump was arrested.